Imagine a landscape where attraction flows, where connections ignite effortlessly, and where genuine understanding paves the way for meaningful relationships. Now, imagine yourself navigating this landscape, feeling sometimes as if you're hitting an invisible wall, especially when it comes to connecting with younger women. Perhaps you've experienced that perplexing moment where a promising conversation suddenly turns cold, where interest seems to vanish into thin air, leaving you wondering what went wrong, especially when you believed you had everything in your favor. You're not alone in this feeling. Many men, despite possessing a wealth of experience, stability, and maturity, find themselves sidelined, puzzled by this recurring pattern. The truth, a profound and liberating realization, is that your age itself is not the barrier that keeps these connections from flourishing. It's not the silver strands in your hair or the years accumulated that dim your appeal. Instead, it's a collection of subtle, often unconscious errors, small missteps that, unbeknownst to you, can shift perceptions, making you appear as that guy instead of the guy. These aren't deep-seated character flaws. Rather, they are behaviors that are entirely correctable. You don't need to reinvent yourself or change who you fundamentally are. A few adjustments are all it takes to safeguard your natural attractiveness and open the door to deeper, more authentic connections. This journey of understanding begins now as we delve into these common pitfalls and, more importantly, how to skillfully navigate past them. Please note that while the core concepts and specific errors discussed are directly drawn from the provided sources, the extensive elaboration, detailed examples, psychological insights, and narrative depth provided to meet the requested length and immersive flow are not explicitly present in the original source material and represent a conceptual expansion on its themes. You may wish to independently verify these expanded insights. Let's begin with the first and perhaps most foundational error: idolizing the young woman. Picture this scene. You're in a bustling environment, a vibrant bar, a lively social gathering, or even a casual meetup. Suddenly, a young woman enters, radiating beauty, confidence, and an undeniable aura that instantly captures your attention. Her energy, her smile, the grace in her movements, everything about her draws you in. And then, without warning, a subtle shift occurs within you. You might find yourself freezing, a silent panic beginning to set in. Thoughts race through your mind. I cannot possibly mess this up. She is clearly out of my league. I absolutely must impress her. Before you're even fully aware of it, your entire demeanor undergoes a transformation. You start to overcompensate, perhaps becoming excessively polite, meticulously avoiding any comment that might even slightly displease or make her uncomfortable. In doing so, you inadvertently place yourself in a position of subservience, of inferiority. This subconscious act of putting someone on a pedestal is a critical misstep. The moment you perceive her as an unreachable prize, you signal a fundamental insecurity within yourself. Women are incredibly perceptive. They quickly sense when a man is unsure of himself or overly eager to please. When your every action screams, "I am not worthy of you, please bestow your favor upon me," it instantly extinguishes the flame of attraction. Attraction, at its core, must be a reciprocal force. If you relegate yourself to an inferior position, you surrender all your power within the interaction. You become solely focused on what she might offer you, completely neglecting your own immense value and what unique contributions you bring to any potential relationship. This error isn't confined to face-to-face encounters. It permeates various forms of communication. Many men make this mistake through constant text messages, overly eager responses on social media, or even in the way they speak about these women to others. If you're perpetually available, responding to every message with lightning speed, or lavishing her with an endless stream of compliments, you're inadvertently broadcasting the same message: I lack value, I have nothing substantial to offer. And regrettably, this doesn't foster attraction. Instead, it positions you as someone without depth or genuine appeal. The perceived need to constantly praise or be at her beck and call undermines your own perceived worth, making you seem desperate rather than desirable. You become a reflection of her perceived superiority rather than a confident individual who stands on equal ground. The solution is not to swing to the opposite extreme. to ignore her, or to adopt an air of arrogance. True confidence isn't about feigning disinterest, it's about genuine self-respect. The key is to treat her with the same natural respect and casual ease you would extend to any other person, to a trusted friend. Engage in conversation as you would with someone whose company you genuinely enjoy, without attaching undue importance to every word or gesture. Stop placing her on that unreachable pedestal. When you see yourself as an equal, you project an authentic security that is infinitely more compelling and attractive. Remember, women are not searching for a man who will worship them. They seek a partner who values himself. When you embody the image of a complete, self-assured individual, you emanate an energy that naturally draws others in, fostering a truly genuine and robust connection. This self-assured presence is the true magnet, paving the way for profound, meaningful interactions. It's about understanding that your worth isn't contingent on her validation, but inherent within you. This realization liberates you to connect authentically, not from a place of need, but from a place of abundance. This brings us to the second common pitfall, complicating the topic of age. Imagine a scenario. You're immersed in a delightful, flowing conversation with a younger woman. Laughter echoes between you, connection sparks, and everything feels remarkably smooth and effortless. Then, like a sudden jolt, the inevitable question surfaces, often phrased innocuously, "How old are you?" In that instant, the spell breaks, the magic dissipates. Your mind races, cycling through a dizzying array of options. Should I tell the absolute truth? Should I deflect with a humorous remark? Should I try to minimize its significance? Your body language shifts almost imperceptibly, a subtle flush, a nervous fidget, perhaps even a bead of sweat, even in a cool room. The very confidence you had effortlessly projected just moments before evaporates, replaced by a palpable discomfort. Suddenly, your age feels like an insurmountable mystery, a burdensome secret you wish you didn't have to reveal. The core issue here is not the number of years you've lived, but rather your own perception and internal reaction to that number. If you respond to the question as if your age is a problem, a deficit, or something to be ashamed of, she will undoubtedly pick up on that signal. Your discomfort becomes her discomfort, and in that moment, you begin to lose ground, not because of the actual number, but because of the insecurity you project. Many older men, trapped in this self-created dilemma, either attempt to downplay their age, subtly hinting at youthfulness, or feel an overwhelming compulsion to justify it, as if delivering unpleasant news. Others, in a desperate, misguided attempt to alleviate the perceived awkwardness, resort to forced jokes or abruptly change the subject. All these reactions serve only one purpose: to create an unsettling, awkward atmosphere. They signal a lack of ease with oneself, which is far more off-putting than any age difference could ever be. You are essentially telling her, through your non-verbal cues and hesitant tone, that you see your age as a disadvantage, and if you believe it to be so, why shouldn't she? The solution, refreshingly, is beautifully simple: poise and confidence. The next time the question arises, answer it with unwavering naturalness, then seamlessly continue the conversation as if nothing out of the ordinary has occurred. A straightforward, "I'm 45, and you," delivered with a genuine smile, is often more than enough. If you wish to inject a playful element, you could even add a light-hearted remark, something along the lines of, "I'm old enough to know exactly what I want and too young to waste time on what I don't." The fundamental principle is not to dramatize the topic of age. If you carry your years with a quiet pride, a comfortable acceptance, she will mirror that acceptance. It bears repeating, women rarely reject men solely for their age. Their rejection stems from the insecurity you project when you are uncomfortable with your own. So, when you choose not to give your age undue importance, she, in turn, will do the same. It becomes a non-issue, a simple fact rather than a complex hurdle. This effortless acceptance demonstrates a profound self-awareness and self-respect that is inherently attractive, signaling that you are at peace with who you are, a quality far more captivating than any fleeting youthful facade. Moving on to the third significant error, attempting to impress with money. Consider this familiar scenario. You're on a date with a younger woman, and the evening seems to be unfolding perfectly. Feeling a surge of desire to solidify your position, to leave an indelible mark, you decide to escalate things financially. What's the immediate impulse? You might reach for your wallet, almost instinctively ordering the most expensive dishes, the finest wine. Perhaps even insisting on driving her home in your luxury vehicle, all expenses, of course, meticulously covered. After all, this opulent display is sure to impress her, right? Initially, she might smile, seemingly enjoying the lavish experience, but subtly, almost imperceptibly, a shift begins to occur. Her responses to your messages might become less enthusiastic, the sparkle in her eyes might diminish, and suddenly, the vibrant energy that once filled her words seems to wane. Eventually, she may simply vanish, leaving you bewildered. What transpired here? The root of the problem isn't the money itself, but rather your underlying intention behind its display. When your primary objective is to impress through financial prowess, you are fundamentally misunderstanding the dynamics of attraction. When you initiate a connection based solely on monetary displays, you are not cultivating genuine attraction. Instead, you are inadvertently fostering a sense of dependence. While it's undeniable that financial stability carries weight and can be attractive, often reflecting security and capability, focusing exclusively on demonstrating your spending power prevents your true value from shining through. Why? Because women, particularly those seeking a meaningful, serious connection, are not searching for a walking ATM. They are seeking an authentic man, a man of character, genuine confidence, and qualities that extend far beyond the reach of a credit card. The fundamental issue lies in making money your winning card. By doing so, you diminish the very qualities that truly make you appealing. Your unique personality, your capacity for deep connection, your ability to genuinely listen, and your willingness to share enriching experiences. You inadvertently tell her that you believe your financial standing is your most valuable asset, overshadowing your true self. You create a transactional dynamic where none should exist, reducing the interaction to a mere exchange of goods and services, rather than a genuine human bond. The solution is elegantly straightforward. Allow your success to speak for itself. There's no need for grandiose gestures or ostentatious displays to make an impression. Instead, focus on small, genuine details that reveal who you truly are. Be authentic, ask insightful, heartfelt questions, and cultivate a conversation where both individuals can share and explore common ground, transcending the superficial realm of material possessions. After all, money might initially capture attention, but it is your authentic personality, your genuine presence, that will compel her to stay, to invest, to truly connect. A true connection cannot be purchased. It must be created through shared experiences, vulnerability, and mutual respect. It's about demonstrating your inner wealth, not just your external assets, and building a foundation based on substance rather than superficiality. This leads us to the fourth critical error, assuming the role of mentor. You meet a younger woman, and the initial chemistry feels promising. Conversation flows effortlessly, and for a fleeting moment you sense something genuinely special might be brewing. Yet, instead of nurturing a burgeoning romantic connection, you inexplicably transition into becoming her life coach, her confidant, her personal advisor. Suddenly, you find yourself dispensing invaluable advice on her career path, offering motivational insights, helping her untangle personal dilemmas, anything and everything it seems, except fostering an emotional, romantic bond. Initially, she listens attentively, perhaps even showing respect for your vast experience and wisdom. However, what you are inadvertently doing is systematically extinguishing any potential romantic spark. In her mind, you are no longer a man with whom she might explore a deeper, intimate relationship beyond friendship or mentorship. Instead, you've solidified your position as someone to consult for guidance, a source of sagely advice. The inherent problem with adopting this role of a life guide is that you subconsciously erect a barrier to attraction. Rather than igniting chemistry, you transform yourself into someone with whom she feels merely comfortable, someone she turns to for suggestions, not someone with whom she desires a romantic experience. This is a fatal error in the realm of romantic pursuit. Your aspiration is to be her partner, not her personal consultant. And while the act of offering advice might feel inherently good, fulfilling even, she progressively begins to perceive you more as an authoritative figure rather than a viable romantic prospect. And believe me, this dynamic acts as a colossal deterrent to any potential relationship. You're inadvertently placing yourself in the dreaded friend zone, a place from which it's incredibly difficult to escape once established. You become a resource, not a romantic interest, fulfilling a need for guidance rather than a desire for intimacy. The solution is quite straightforward. Clearly delineate the boundaries between being a mentor and being an attractive man. Instead of embracing the role of her primary advisor, strive to be someone with whom she can share joyful, spontaneous moments. Keep your conversations light, infused with playfulness, and above all, allow attraction to unfold naturally, without coercion or forced progression. Consider this profound insight. If she confides in you about another man she finds appealing, it's not because she's seeking your astute advice on the matter. It's because she has, without realizing it, already relegated you to the friend zone. She already sees you as safe, non-threatening, a source of objective wisdom, precisely the opposite of what ignites romantic passion. Remember, a woman is not seeking a teacher or a guru. She seeks a man with whom she can share life's experiences, its triumphs and its vulnerabilities, and its deepest emotions. She desires a partner in adventure, not a professor in life. It's about being present, engaging, and emotionally resonant, rather than simply intellectually superior or practically helpful. This brings us to the fifth common misstep: striving too hard to appear young. Imagine the scene. A man in his mid-40s, perhaps even 50, arrives for a date sporting a painfully tight t-shirt, fluorescent sneakers that even teenagers would shy away from, and making a visibly desperate attempt to pepper his speech with the latest, trendiest slang. He might genuinely believe he appears fresh, modern, and perfectly aligned with youthful sensibilities, but something about the overall picture just doesn't quite fit. This embodies the fifth error: the misguided attempt to conform to youth culture, as if one could suddenly rewind the clock to 20 years old. The insidious trap lies in the belief that to attract a younger woman, one must imitate the lifestyle, the fashion, the very cadence of younger men. Many men fall prey to this idea, convinced that they must adopt the clothing styles of someone half their age, feign interest in trends they genuinely don't comprehend, or even pretend to be engrossed in the latest TikTok fads or popular youth series. But here's the undeniable problem. It shows, and not in the way you hope. True attraction doesn't stem from masquerading as someone you are not. If you try to compete on the playing field of youth, you are destined to lose. Youthfulness is not a commodity that can be purchased with clothing or adopted attitudes. Attempting to portray yourself as a 20-year-old when you are 45 or 50 projects a profound sense of insecurity and a distinct aura of being out of place. Women are remarkably adept at discerning when someone is trying too hard to fit in, to be something they are not. The effort itself, the visible strain of the performance, becomes the most unattractive quality. It signals a lack of comfort in one's own skin, a fear of aging, and an absence of genuine self-acceptance. What genuinely captivates younger women is a deep-seated self-assurance and an unwavering capacity for authenticity. Older men possess an incredible inherent advantage, a rich tapestry of life experience, profound maturity, a settled stability, and a confident composure that many younger men are still striving to cultivate. If you actively endeavor to camouflage or dilute these invaluable assets, all you succeed in doing is diminishing your own inherent appeal. You are discarding your unique strengths in a futile attempt to mimic someone else's, becoming a poor imitation rather than a genuine original. The solution, once again, is beautifully simple. Embrace your age with unwavering pride. There is absolutely no need to disguise yourself as an adolescent to impress. Instead of attempting to compete with younger men on their terms, simply be the mature, self-assured, and authentic man that you already are. When you are genuinely comfortable with who you are, when your age feels like a badge of honor rather than a burden, that deep-seated confidence radiates outwards, becoming infinitely more attractive than any superficial attempt to appear younger. Remember, younger women are not seeking a boy in his 20s. They are looking for a mature man who possesses clarity of purpose, who understands what he desires, and, most importantly, who is not afraid to unapologetically be himself. This authenticity is your superpower, a magnet that draws others to your genuine core, fostering a connection based on honesty and self-respect. This brings us to the sixth critical error: overloading the conversation with achievements. Picture this scenario. You're on a date with a younger woman, and the chemistry seems palpable, the atmosphere charged with potential. Feeling confident and perhaps a little eager, you decide to share the incredible narrative of your life's accomplishments. You begin recounting your impressive career milestones, your vast property portfolio, your exotic travels to far-flung destinations, your extensive network of influential contacts, and you continue seemingly without end. The conversation quickly morphs into a relentless parade of successes, as if you're meticulously presenting your curriculum vitae in a high-stakes job interview. Initially, she might appear interested, nodding politely, but subtly, almost imperceptibly, her gaze begins to drift towards her phone. Her responses become monosyllabic, perhaps even tinged with a hint of disinterest, and she might even begin to search for a plausible excuse to depart. The once fluid and enjoyable ambience has now morphed into a sterile press conference, and you, without realizing it, have committed the sixth common error: overfilling the conversation with your achievements. The fundamental problem is that while achievements can undoubtedly impress, they do not inherently forge connection. The profound truth is that women do not fall in love with a resume, they fall in love with how you make them feel. When you dedicate the vast majority of the conversation to extolling your own virtues, you inadvertently project an image of someone desperately seeking validation, rather than someone capable of engaging in a truly genuine and reciprocal conversation. Herein lies the subtle paradox. You do not need to boast about every single accomplishment to demonstrate your inherent worth. If you are genuinely successful, your very presence, the quiet confidence you exude, speaks volumes. A truly secure man has no need to brag or show off, because his confidence is innately evident through his demeanor, his actions, and his respectful engagement. If you incessantly recount your achievements, all you accomplish is the creation of a tangible distance between yourself and her. Instead of fostering an emotional connection, you present yourself as someone who craves admiration, who seeks to be glorified, rather than truly known. You inadvertently create a one-way street of communication where your narrative dominates, leaving little room for her to share, to feel heard, or to genuinely connect with you on a deeper level. This can be perceived as self-absorption, a lack of interest in her, or simply an overwhelming need for external affirmation. The solution is elegantly simple. Listen far more than you speak. Ask genuine, open-ended questions that invite her to share her own experiences, her dreams, her perspectives. Demonstrate a sincere interest in her life, her passions, her aspirations, and cultivate a dynamic conversation where both individuals contribute equally. There is no immediate necessity to enumerate your properties, your luxury vehicles, or your exotic escapades. Allow her to discover these details organically over time, as you prioritize the creation of a profound, authentic connection. Remember, a woman will not choose to remain with you because you regale her with tales of your grandeur. She will stay because she feels utterly incredible, completely valued, and truly understood when she is in your presence. The focus should always be on shared experience, mutual discovery, and the emotional resonance that forms the bedrock of any lasting bond. And finally, we arrive at the seventh crucial error: neglecting your physical presence. Imagine this scenario. You're meeting a younger woman for a date, and as you walk into the venue, her eyes land upon you. What she perceives is a wrinkled shirt, a disheveled hairstyle, and perhaps a faint, lingering aroma of stale cologne mixed subtly with perspiration. In that crucial first moment, it doesn't matter how accomplished you are, how intellectually brilliant, or how wise you may be. The initial impression has already worked against you. And if you weren't already aware, attraction, in its most immediate form, often begins with what the eyes behold. Many men, as they mature, mistakenly believe that simply being interesting or possessing the ability to engage in captivating conversation is sufficient to capture a woman's attention. And while experience and maturity are undeniably invaluable assets, entirely neglecting your physical appearance is a grievous error, a fatal misjudgment. If you fail to invest the time and effort into presenting yourself well, why would you expect her to do so for you or to find you appealing? After all, if you don't take care of yourself, what message are you subtly conveying about the value you place on your own well-being, your own self-respect? The secret is not to aspire to be a runway model or to conform to some impossible standard of youthful perfection. Rather, it is to consistently present the absolute best version of yourself. A clean, stylish haircut, clothing that fits impeccably and is free of wrinkles, and a subtle application of pleasant perfume can collectively make an extraordinary difference. We are not suggesting that you transform into the world's most fashionable man, but a modest investment of effort yields significant returns. Consider it analogous to preparing a truly exquisite, delectable dish, only to serve it on a dirty, unappetizing plate. The food itself might be heavenly, but the initial visual impression will be anything but appealing. Furthermore, maintaining an active lifestyle and staying in good physical shape not only enhances your appearance, but perhaps more importantly, significantly improves how you feel about yourself. And that profound sense of well-being, that inner vitality, radiates outwards. When you project an aura of personal care and an undeniable confidence in who you are, women instinctively notice. Attraction is not solely about the words you utter or the stories you tell. It is fundamentally about the energy you project, the image you convey. And trust me, physical presence plays a crucial, often underestimated role in igniting that initial spark, that primal pull. It communicates self-respect, discipline, and a quiet competence. The core principle here is remarkably simple. If you truly value yourself, you demonstrate it through your physical presence. Take care of yourself, cultivate a sense of inner and outer well-being, and you will observe how women inevitably take notice. Because at the end of the day, that foundational spark of attraction often ignites long before a single word is exchanged. It's a non-verbal declaration of your worth, your attention to detail, and your readiness to engage with the world confidently. If you have journeyed through these insights, you now possess a clear understanding of what is at stake. The errors we have meticulously explored are not mere trifles. They are deeply ingrained behaviors that, often unconsciously, have the power to dismantle any opportunity for a genuine connection with a younger woman. The true secret to attraction does not reside in your age, nor in forced attempts to project an artificial image, nor in a relentless pursuit to impress with superficialities. It lies unequivocally in how you perceive yourself and, consequently, the silent signals you transmit to the world around you. Remember this profound truth. Real attraction is not manufactured by forcing a facade or striving to impress with qualities that are not authentically yours. It is, at its heart, a radiant blend of confidence, unwavering authenticity, and a profound security in your very being. If you can diligently identify and diligently correct these pervasive errors, you will not only profoundly enhance the way younger women perceive you, but, more importantly, you will revolutionize the way you perceive yourself. So if any of these common pitfalls resonated with you, if you found yourself nodding in recognition of these patterns, then the time for change is undeniably now. You are not tasked with transforming into an entirely different person. Your mission is simply to shed the attitudes and behaviors that have been subtly yet powerfully holding you back, limiting your potential. The most refined, most compelling version of yourself is patiently waiting to be fully discovered, to be unveiled. And that authentic, self-assured version is precisely the man that women genuinely desire to know, to connect with, to share their lives with. Embrace this journey of self-improvement, for it is not just about attracting others, but about becoming the best possible version of yourself, radiating an inner light that naturally draws others to your genuine core.